Thomas Massie, welcome to the program, sir. How are you?
Well, I've been better. I'm a little bit out of breath. I just ran from that vote that just threw away the Fourth Amendment to our Constitution. They passed the extension of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act.
Oh, my God.
Of course, it's been used to spy on Americans, so it's misnamed. But
was it even close?
It was close in a way. We only needed 1/3 of the House to vote against it to stop it. You see, I sit on the Rules Committee. Chip Roy sits on the Rules Committee. Ralph Norman sits on the Rules Committee. We have a blocking position, and we said, you're not going to mash this thing together with the funding for our military and put it on the floor. That's the swamp way of doing things, and we're done with that. So instead of bringing the bill through the Rules Committee, as most bills go, they brought it on the floor without going through the Rules Committee by suspending the rules.
Jeez.
Now, they can do that, but then they have to get a 2/3 majority vote. So we needed 140 votes, roughly, out of the people who were present to stop it.
Yeah,
we got 118.
118. I would assume most of them Republicans, but I hear there were some Democrats that were against this as well.
Yeah, we had 73 Republicans vote against this and 45 Democrats vote against it.
Listen to this, America. Just 76, did you say? Republicans.
Republicans. Yeah.
That is insanity. What are these people thinking?
Well, Glenn, they put you in a skiff here, one of these secret rooms without your phone, and they try to convince you the world's going to end if you don't allow them to reauthorize this. But that's a false choice. We passed a reform to this that would require the government to get a warrant out of Jim Jordan's Judiciary Committee, another committee that Chip Roy and I sit on. And the Speaker, instead of bringing it to the floor as a standalone bill, brought this horrible thing that, as you said in your intro, we already know they've admitted they've used it illegally on 250,000 times on Americans. They brought this same program back to the floor, and they say it's a 4-month reauthorization. But as Mike Lee, who's read the bill, points out, it may be more than a year reauthorization because they'll just reset the clock in January.
Can you give me any hope for the Republic?
People ask me, is there any hope? I say I am here on the 5% chance that we can fix it, and on the 30% chance that it all goes to hell, and I live through that, and I can be here to try to put it back together. So, we started out this year, we were going to, and McCarthy put 3 of us on the Rules Committee so we could make sure this didn't happen, so that we could make sure they didn't put 2 different bills together. You understand, I don't want to defend them, but I want to explain the reason 147 Republicans voted the wrong way. They were given a false choice. They were saying, if you don't fund this program, then we won't be able to spy on terrorists. And, oh, by the way, we've attached it to the military funding bill, and the soldiers won't get paid, and they won't get
I'm sorry, but I'm sorry, Thomas. I don't mean to. I'm probably as mad as you are, but you're being much too kind. I'm sorry. If you're in Congress and you fall into that trap, which has been used over and over and over again by both sides, you're a moron and not smart enough to be in Washington, D.C. Sorry.
It's Lucy and the football. For some of us who've been here 10 years, we've seen it about 3 times because this program comes up for reauthorization every 4 years or so. But you're right. They use the same tricks over and over. And in the classified rooms, they give you examples of how this program's been used to stop terrorists, but they don't give you examples of how being able to spy on Americans without a warrant has ever been able to help them stop a terrorist.
Does CTIL ring a bell with anyone? Are they even paying attention? You know what Matt Taibbi and Schellenberger came out and testified to about CTIL and the program of psychological ops being run on the American people. The last thing this government needs is more power. You know, everybody on the left and the media, oh, Donald Trump is going to be a dictator. What's the difference from what we're doing right now? What's the difference?
Here's what's so frustrating to me, Glenn, is I've waited a decade to get a chairman of judiciary or chairman of Intel, and in this case we got the chairman of judiciary who actually cares about this issue, Jim Jordan. And Mike Johnson served on this committee. He was working on this problem with us. Then he became speaker, and he won't bring the judiciary bill to the floor.
Why? What part of his soul do you think he sold?
I don't think he sold his soul. I think they have put him in one of these rooms and shown him the extra super classified stuff and convinced him that if he doesn't do this, there'll be a terrorist attack on January 1st.
There's going to be a terrorist attack in this country because our borders are wide open.
That is true.
I mean, you cannot have it both ways. You can't say we have to have this tool because terrorist attacks are going to happen, but we're letting 5,000 people in every day. You can't have it both ways.
Listen,
I'm sorry.
But your frustration is an expression of the frustration of your listeners and of my voters. I am Chip Roy. He tried. I got to give him credit. He called a motion to adjourn before they brought this bill up. He tried to adjourn Congress.
He should have put you know what? He should have pulled the fire alarm. They don't do anything about that anyway.
I guess we should all pull fire alarms.
Yeah. I mean, it's unbelievable. And then the gall of James Clapper to come out and have the same people that wrote the public statement about Hunter Biden's laptop, the same people come out and say, we really need Section 702. How do these people have any credibility with anybody?
I don't know, but they put them up as subject matter experts. They should be a reason you should vote against it.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Okay, can you tell me? Gosh, Thomas, I love you. I'm sorry. Don't feel like I'm taking it out on you. I know it probably sounds that way, but you're one of the good guys. So, and thank Chip and Mike and everybody else that's working behind the scenes to stop this stuff.
There's a little bit of hope, Glenn. Let me give you a little bit of hope. We still have the judiciary bill. They could still bring it to the floor. We could still pass that in the House. That's what we need to do. There's a fake reform package that the Intel committee has passed. We do not need to bring that to the floor. Actually, Chip Roy and I and Ralph Norman stopped that from coming to the floor this week, the fake one. So there's a real one on the docket. They could mark it up in January, February, March. That's what we need to do. It's got reforms like get a damn warrant. It's got reforms like criminal penalties for people who abuse the program. It's got reforms like congressmen can go over there and look at what's going on kind of reforms. I think it's a serious bill. That's the one we should bring to the floor, and we should do it as soon as we get back after Christmas. All
right. What else is being sneaked by the American people in the holiday season? Because this is when it always happens. What else is going to happen?
Well, while I've got you on here, here's what's coming up next. They did the extension, the CR.
Yeah, of course they did.
CR into January and February. But you remember, I got a provision that if they keep doing CRs, the whole budget gets cut 1%. I know that's not enough, but that will kick in April, and they are freaking out right now. And when
over 1%?
Over 1%, like the world will end if we spend 1% less this year than the Democrats did last year.
Joe Biden farted out $200 million to Ukraine, and that wouldn't. I mean, that's not even touching 1%. Are you kidding me? They're freaking out.
They are freaking out, right? 1% is $15 billion, and Joe Biden's asking for another $60 billion. He's asking for 4% of our discretionary budget additionally to go to Ukraine, and they're freaking out over this 1% cut provision that I got signed into law. They did this out of desperation, but now it's coming up. They will move heaven and earth to get out of that 1%. That's what everybody needs to be watching, I think, right now, is whether they cheat us out of the 1% cut. that Chuck Schumer voted for and Joe Biden signed so that they could get the debt limit through.
Unbelievable. Well, Thomas, thank you for all the fight that you guys are doing. And I know, because I hear from you guys personally, I hear from you, late at night, what the hell am I still doing here? It's not making a difference. You are making a difference. And at least somebody is standing up to all of this. Can I ask you, do you have an opinion on the Supreme Court taking the Donald Trump case? Or not the Donald Trump case, but the what's his face, the prosecutor, that case?
I've been so busy with the FISA thing, I haven't paid attention to that.
Okay.
I saw Hunter Biden scroll through here without showing up to testify.
Can you imagine the gall of that?
It's insane.
It's insane. Insane.
He's just flouting it in our faces.
I know. And you guys can't really do anything, can you? I mean, you can hold him in contempt of Congress, but that doesn't mean anything because the Justice Department is rogue.
That's correct. You refer to the DOJ. They're not going to do anything. It's the president's son.
It's obscene. Thank you so much, Thomas. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Glenn.
You bet. Bye-bye.